Offensive coordinator, Tony Elliott.
Hey, Tony, it's David Hood with TigerNet. I guess if this is his last game in Death Valley, he couldn't have picked a better one. That was a fantastic effort. Just your quick thoughts on what you saw out of him today.
No question, man. I told his parents afterwards, told his mom that, Trevor's actually made me a better man. The way that he's a young man that probably the only person in our program that has more scrutiny and more attention on him will be Coach Sweeney, and the way that he's handled it his entire career, battled through the adversity with the COVID, was there for his teammates, supported, had an opportunity to come back, hadn't played in 5 weeks. And then he goes out there and throws for over 400 yards and led our team. And there were times where he wasn't, protected the best. But he's a warrior. We asked him to run the football in some critical situations, and he did that. He's just an awesome young man. That's where it starts. And not even to mention what he can do on the football field, but there he's got the heart of a champion. Just proud to be associated with him and have an opportunity to be around him, because I truly mean it when I say he's made me a better person.
Tony, Larry Williams here with TigerIllustrated.com. There was a period there, I guess, late third quarter. The offense had been in a bit of a drought, and I think on 2nd and 2, Lynn J got dropped for a loss. On 3rd and 5, was it just a classic case of we're gonna give the ball to our best player, meaning Trevor, and let him do work on the quarterback draw?
Yeah, no doubt. A little disappointed right there coming out of half. We turn the ball over there, then we come back, we have a good drive, go down, have an opportunity to kick the field goal, and definitely, in that situation, just looking for somebody to make a play, and nobody better than the number 16, the leader of our offense.
Hey, Tony, it's Peter AP. What's it like dealing with a Trevor Lawrence who hasn't been able to play in 5 weeks? Is he really super antsy to get back there? Do you have to kind of calm him down and keep him engaged?
No, I think what's made Trevor special his whole life is he never tries to be something that he isn't. He's ready for every moment. He understands, and he also learned from mistakes back in the past, or what happens when you try to press. It was just awesome to see him go out there. But today was a special day. He did a great job of controlling his emotions, so that he can go out and play his best football. But leading up to it, I didn't see any antsiness or anxiousness out of him. What I did see at the hotel is I saw a group of guys, that were anxious to play in a good way, eager to play, and they were ready to go out from the get-go. We didn't have a great first drive, but after that, to be able to score that many points in the first quarter, really the defense helped us out, gave us some short fields. But I thought everybody on the offense was ready to play from the get-go.
Tony, this is Matt. I think Cornell became the only receiver other than Sammy Watkins and DeAndre Hopkins to have 150 yards back-to-back. Just how has he kind of become a guy that you guys trust in every situation, and how have you seen him come along this year?
Right. I think just every week that goes by, he just continues to put in the work. I think it's been well documented that it's never been a talent issue with Cornell. It's just been an understanding and a motivation issue. And since he really had an opportunity to fill in starting in fall camp, with Frank, they were battling for that spot. Frank goes out with contact tracing, whatever it was back in camp. So he got an opportunity, and he really hasn't looked back. And then there was a spot during the season, I think it was a week before, maybe BC, that coach really challenged him. And since then, the light has come on. So we've always known that Cornell could do it. And just really happy for him that he's stayed the course. He could have had he had an opportunity where he could possibly have moved on, look for a fresh start. But man, he stuck it out. And just really happy for him. And not only 2 games in a row, but I think there's 3 games overall in a row with over 100 yard receivers. So just really proud of him. And our job as coaches, and he'll have to do it as well, is just to continue to stay humble and not to get overconfident or complacent. Just continue to put in the same amount of work that you do from a preparation process, so that you can go out there and continue to make plays. And with that, then the quarterback's confidence and throwing the ball to him picks up, and then the other receivers feed off of that too, and their confidence goes up.
With the other receivers, how did you think EJ played tonight in his first start?
Man, he made some big catches, and to have a touchdown in his first start, I thought EJ did a really good job. I'm sure there's going to be some situations as we break down the film that he'll be able to improve, but just really like to see that the moment's not too big for him. He just continues to, whenever he has opportunities, he makes plays, and he's made some tough catches too, some contested plays, which is very positive.
Coach Elliott, Bob Gilchrist, WCRS. What are your thoughts on how the offense played in the first half as compared to the second half? Did you see anything to work on? I know you'll be looking at plays. But what are your thoughts overall on the performance?
I thought in the first half, definitely in the first quarter, got out and was able to have some short fields. Were able to put had some turnovers, so we scored points off turnovers. Disappointed where we feel like we gave up those 7 points right there when we fumbled right there at the beginning of the second half. Definitely challenge our guys to protect the quarterback at all times. In the past, they've done a really, really good job, and they were really challenged. This defensive front, if you go back and you look at these guys, they got 2 defensive ends that are top 5, top 6 on the NFL boards. We knew it was going to be a challenge, and when you go back and you watch it, I'm sure it's not going to be as much them as it was just a breakdown in technique or trying to help on a double team too long, and those guys will make you pay for it. So felt like we could protect the quarterback better at times, but overall to go out there and rush that team right there, that defensive structure, held Notre Dame to 44 yards rushing. So wasn't sure what I knew our guys were ready to play. We knew we had some things that could help them, but I thought they did a good job of just controlling the line of scrimmage. You had outside of the 3 sacks, and then Lindsay had 1 TFL there. They did a really, really good job of battling in the trenches. So, really, really proud of our offensive line. At the end of the day, to have that many yards, to be able to throw it and run it, you can't do that without those guys up front. And then we, put some other guys in, which we need to do, at times to spell some guys, but then also have them prepared and be ready to go in without breaking down the cohesion and the chemistry. So we're led by the offensive line. Obviously, Trevor throws for a bunch of yards, and there were some plays we had to scramble to. But at the end of the day, man, you don't do what you do unless you have those guys up front battling in the trenches, and their job is not easy.
Hey, Tony, it's David again. I have to ask about the flea flicker. Pitt throws one. It's intercepted. 2 plays later, you come back. Whose call was that? And what was kind of the thinking behind that call?
Hey, I'm going to get that one to Coach Sweeney. Coach Sweeney said, hey, I want the flea flicker, a little professional courtesy right there. But definitely it was something we had in the plan. It was an area of the field where we wanted to get it off, and it just so happened that it matched up in that series.
Tony, I know that you don't care a lot about individual awards, but do you have any thoughts on where Trevor should be in the Heisman conversation right now?
Oh, I don't know enough about that. I'm going to leave that up to the voters. All I know is I personally believe he's the best player, not just the best quarterback. I think he's the best player in the country. I think he's very deserving of being up there towards the top, but I don't know enough about the details of how they, cast their vote and what the parameters are. But all I know is I'm happy he's on my team. And again, he's made me a better man. He's actually made me look like a really, really good coach because he makes me right.
Coach Elliott, this is Chris Idell from Herman FM Radio in Baltimore. What was it like having Trevor and Etienne in the backfield and you coaching them? When would you take a time to step back and go, wow, I had 2 great players that could be NFL Hall of Famers one day?
I think that'll come, down the road when I actually have some time. Definitely know how special they are, so I don't take it for granted. But my job as a coach right now, while they're with us, is to push them as hard as they've ever been pushed, to continue to bring out that greatness that's inside of them. But they're 2 special young men. They're special talents. I think the future is extremely bright for those guys. And again, I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted that I've been placed in this position, but I believe by a higher power to allow me to be fortunate enough to be around those young men, because both of those individuals, everybody sees what they do on the field. But I'm fortunate enough to see those guys operate off the field, and both of them, through different things that they've done, different experiences have made me a better man. And so for that, I'm forever grateful. But sitting back and doing all that, I don't have time. We got a Virginia Tech team. We're going to Blacksburg, playing in Blacksburg. It's not easy to go into Blacksburg and win. So that's where my focus is going to be as soon as I wake up in the morning.
Take 1 or 2 more questions.
Tony, Larry Williams again. Given that you knew it was going to be hard to run the ball against those guys, did you kind of feel like first down aggression with the pass was going to be kind of a big part of your objective today?
Right. I think going into it, what you got to understand about their structure, the structure is going to challenge you, in the run game. And then if they can get you behind the chains on second down, then they can jump into their odd package, which I believe they do. They have as good an odd package on second and long and third down as anybody in the country. They're very versatile, very mobile. Very versatile. They can change structure. They can play their coverages. They can confuse the quarterback. So we wanted to make sure that whatever we did, that we wanted to stay ahead of the chains. And then after the first drive, being able to see our guys, okay, they're able to handle the guys up front. They're getting some good push. Travis looked like he was seeing it. I think this was a very, very specific game plan from a run standpoint. We all had to be on the same page because we knew there was not going to be a lot of air. We knew the backs were going to have to run through arm tackles. They were going to have to run through, 7 and 8 man boxes. but we needed to keep them honest. And I think, if you're aggressive and you try to force the run, then over time it sets up some of the play actions. And I thought our guys did a good job on the perimeter of being able to extend the run game, but then also take advantage when those fold players were coming in the pass game with our play actions.
Any other questions for Coach?
I appreciate you. Thank you. And I hope,
Thanks,
happy
Tony.
Thanksgiving, everybody. I know it's a little bit late.
You too. Thank you.
Of course.